everyone, my name is Desola. I'm a fashion designer and you are welcome to my channel. I'm an African inspired writer by fashion designer and I've been in business for 9 years. So today I'm talking about how to develop a size chart for your clothing line. So first of all, I'll just explain what is a size chart. So a size chart is what you want your clothing sizes to be like, what you want as a size 4, size 6, size 8, size 10, size 11, size 12, size 14, size 16, size 18, size 20. So what in those sizes, what you want the measurements to be in terms of the bust, in terms of the waist, in terms of the hip. So that is a size chart. And a size chart, when it comes to clothing line, you need to be consistent as much as you can. So why is it important to have a size chart for your clothing line? It's very important because it allows people to know what size to pick in terms of the clothes that you are selling. So mainly in your ready-to-wear clothing line, what makes someone a size 8, what makes someone a size 10, what makes someone a size 16 or a 14 or whatever the number is. So that is peculiar to your own business. There's usually a range, and this range you can find them when you go to all these other commercial retailers, clothing line retailers like your Topshop, your H&M, your the different ones. You can go online and check it. But the thing is, you have to, these are commercial sizes, but you have to find the one that fits your kind of clothing, because when you have a clothing like that, different kinds of clothing that are being made, so you need to figure out what kind of clothing. For example, I make structured clothing with classic silhouettes, so my sizing has to be in a certain way. Some people make clothes that are just free sizes, so your sizing is definitely going to be different from my sizing. What will be a size 10, a size 11, a size 12, a size 14 for me will definitely be different from what it will be for you, but it will probably be within a certain range. So you need to figure that out for your business. And another reason why it's also important is that it also makes customers come back to your business, because they know that, okay, for example, this customer says, I'm a size 14 and this size 14, I know if I go to X, Y, and Z for a size 14, it's going to fit perfectly because I have bought a size 14 from them before and it fitted perfectly. So they will always want to come back to you instead of going to someone else, because they know that your sizing is right and is consistent. That is, if it's consistent, it needs to be consistent. If it's not consistent, it's not really going to work out. Your size 8 today is measuring XYZ in bust, waist, and hip, and another kind of garment, your size 8 is mentioning ABC for bust, waist, and hip. You need to be consistent in your sizing. It's really, really important for your clothing line. Like I said, size charts differ. They differ from clothing to clothing. Some people do free clothes, some people do t-shirts, anything. You need to figure out what your sizing is, and how to figure out what your sizing is also boils down to the fact that you need to know your target market. When you know your target market, you're able to know what kind of size, because for example, a teenage girl, if that is your market, will not necessarily have the same bust measurements as someone that is 25 years old, or the same measurement as someone that is 35, 40 years old. So you need to know your market. The same way, if you're sewing for older people may not necessarily want to wear clothes that have a bust of a certain bust size of how do I explain this properly? So basically, if let's say this garment is size 8 and it will fit a 25-year-old, it will fit a 35-year-old, and it will fit a 40-45-year-old. But a 40-45-year-old may not necessarily want that silhouette. So size charts different from target market to target market. So size chart different from clothing type to clothing type. Some people may make clothes for petite people, and the clothing size for a petite person, or let's say what is considered to be a size 8 or a size 10 for a petite person, is different from what the average size 8 and what the average size 10 will be. And if someone is making clothes for the fuller figured woman, and the fuller figured woman is probably wearing a size 10 but has like voluptuous breasts and a big behind and a very tiny waist, there are ways that you have to alter your measurements to work for your own brand, to work for your own clothing line. You can't use the same thing that is used across board. You need to understand the kind of clothes that you're making and the kind of people you're making clothes for. You need to understand the kind of bodies they have. So if you're making clothes for the plus size woman, your sizing will slightly be different. So these are things that you need to factor in and also consider when you're developing a size chart for your clothing line. Also, if you're making clothes for older people, what's the kind of sizing of the kind of clothes they wear in size 10? Size 10 may be, even if a customer wears size 10, but the kind of clothes that an older woman would wear in that size 10 will not necessarily be okay for them, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So you can't necessarily cut it across board like that. You need to find what is specific to you, what works for your own brand when developing a size chart. So basically, your size chart is your selling point. For any clothing brand, your size chart is your seller, your biggest seller. It is the reason why people come to your business. It is the reason why people come back to your business. Once you have your sizing on lockdown, that is it. Just go and run with it. But if you don't have your sizing correctly, you need to work on this, because that is what is going to determine how much business will come in for you. Sizing is very important. A lot of people ask me, oh, how do I get my size? How do I do this my size? The sizing I use, I know the kind of clothes that I make, and I've been making these clothes for the past 9 years. This size chart is the size chart. It's not the same. The size chart I use is not the same size chart I used in the very first year of my business. My size chart continues to develop as the years go by, and the better I understand my customers and how I understand, the more I understand how a woman's body is shaped. That is how I continue to develop my own size chart. You can go online and you would find sites of garment or clothing retailers that you can use and compare, that would assist you in coming up with your sizing. So sizing is very, very important for any clothing line, for any ready-to-wear, especially ready-to-wear clothing line. It's very, very important. If you don't have your sizing right, you need to go and work on it. If you have your sizing right, stick with it and look for ways you can improve on it, and the sky is the limit. Literally, if you have your sizing right, the sky is the limit, because most women want to wear clothes that they will fit in almost immediately and with almost little or no alteration whatsoever. And when you wear clothes and it fits and it looks good on you, trust me, it affects your mood, the way you feel, everything. I see customers coming into my store, and when they wear clothes, I see the way they feel, I see the way they look, I see the way they So that is why it's very important. Your sizing is really, really important. So I'm done for today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Subscribe to my channel and put on the notification bell so that you will know when I upload a new video. And I think I'll see you next week. Bye.